Hi YouTube, Extreme Trains here. So in this video we're taking a look at another one of the Thomas Tomica Takara Tomy push-along style engines, which just seem to be the Japanese response to the mainstream push-along engines that I've reviewed quite a lot of on my channel. This one here is our little green friend Percy. As you can see again, these boxes are quite small, and after we've taken a look at Thomas, you really can kind of get an idea of what might be in store for us. So what are we waiting for? Let's do it. Okay, so we've got Percy's little box here. Again, it's very, very similar to Thomas's, so I'm just going to go over it quite quickly. You can pause the video to translate any of that Japanese if you so wish. All right, let's get Percy out of the packaging, again with a little plastic bag. All right, done. Fantastic, and we have, again, our little Percy out of his packaging, and we're just doing the spin. Doing the spin now. Okay, so we're going to come in and look at that face. Again, I think this is a really good little Percy face. As a you know, quote-unquote neutral expression, I really like this one. It's very, very cute. Is it as accurate to the All Engines Go faces on the push-alongs? You know, mileage may vary, and I do note that the, I think 2 sets that have been released, if you can call them sets, for these engines do have different facial expressions, so it seems like that Tomica Takara Tomy is following the trend with the having different facial expressions option. But yes, you do have that there. I think it's a cute face. Again, we get the lamp detail, buffer detail, which is nice. Come around here, we've got that, again, similar, like you can see the 3D texture of the raised stripes, and we've got the painted dome. Again, we've got stickers here for the whistle and cab detailing, as well as for the side detailing. And I went back and reviewed my old videos of the Tomica reviews that I have done, which aren't many, and they did actually have 3D detailing both for this part here and for this part. So it does look like it's a downgrade in that they've moved to using stickers to do this detail, which is quite similar to what they do for the wind-up engines. So that is, I think, to some extent disappointing. I think it's more disappointing on Percy because, as you can see, the color matching, while it definitely looks worse on camera, between the green of the paint and the green of the sticker is not that good. So if we do a comparison with Thomas, I think it's less noticeable because there's less area that's not exposed by the sticker. But this one, you have all of this part here, all of this here, you got this bit here, which isn't covered in sticker. So it's quite obvious that the paint matching is not that good. And I also don't know if the stickers, on mine at least, have been put in the right place. It seems like they should be further up, so they're touching the top. Maybe, I don't know, or is it just that they've been cut weird? Yeah, I don't love the stickers on this Percy. They've got the coal bunker detail again, though. No coal in there. It's just all one big black blob. You got the coupling again, back detailing. That's what the bottom looks like. And again, we've got the similar wheels, same wheels they use as Thomas, but obviously we've only got the 2 of them. So this is definitely, again, a quite different approach to covering these engines compared to what we can see in the background there, which is the push-along kind of engines that were available in the West. So let's do a little bit of comparison and talk about value and price. So if you haven't watched my Thomas video, you won't have seen how small these guys really are. So you can see there's a Thomas Mini there on the left. We have the Tomica Percy in the middle, and we've got the push-along die-cast Percy. This is the color change version on the right. So you can see there is quite a big size difference even between these items. Like, look, you know, this Percy is pretty much half the size in almost every dimension, I think, than this one, which is quite fascinating because I don't think these are huge either. So you can see here that the details, again, as I said in the Thomas review, I think they're slightly more dynamic with these. So for example, you can see you've got the slant on the funnel, you've got the slant on the boiler and in the smoke box. Compared to the flat lines of the design, again, I think this funnel is probably more accurate to the show for its size, but I don't know whether it captures the energy of the show. Equally, again, as I've talked about in the Thomas review, I do prefer the wheel detailing that exists on the tank engines. I also think that the 3D details that we get, for example, having the actual whistle and having the cutout here for the cab looks a lot nicer than the stickers. Even though I think when you feel these engines, this feels like a lot heftier. And I didn't quite make this comment with Thomas, but this I think might even be heavier than this one, because although this is die-cast, it's just the outside, whereas this I think is like potentially solid metal all the way through. And I think the chassis is potentially metal as well, versus this one, which is all plastic except just for that big shell that's green. So I think overall, from a value perspective, again, as I said in the Thomas review, which I encourage you to check out, really depends what you're looking for. It's a very cute little item, but it is definitely a different feel than this. And I don't think someone who... You can't interchange these, I don't think. They're definitely clearly designed for different audiences, and I think that's important. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. They're just different. As I talked about, this was the same price for the Percy as it was Thomas, so that translates to about $7.50 Australian, not including the shipping to get him here from Japan, compared to, as I said, the colour changes are $10, but if you have just the vanilla versions of these engines, they're about $5 to $6 in Australia. So again, you are talking about even if it's a cheaper item compared to the color change, you do get a lot more bang for your buck, I think, with this toy. Obviously, it's bigger, you got a color change feature, whereas this one, it's quite small. You got sticker details, which I note are not very good for longevity. Just doesn't, I don't love the way that this is being done, and it certainly feels like, as much as I don't, want it to be true, as I think has been discussed with, in other forums, you do kind of feel like that potentially Takara and Tomy have kind of started to take on the Mattel energy of cutting corners, including with the stickers. One detail I will point out is you do have the accurate kind of sloping of the cab, so it's wider at the top here and it comes in, which isn't something you get on the Percy. This Percy is very straight all the way through. So again, I think in some ways, this proportion, particularly from the front profile, looks a lot more accurate to the show than this one from the front profile. But again, it's all about thinking about what is valuable as a toy. And so I think, again, you've really got to weigh that up, or when you are thinking about it. Very quickly then, before we wrap up, we'll do a little comparison. We can see what Thomas and Percy look like together. Again, they look quite good together. You can really tell that these are designed to be played with together in the same universe. Again, we do have that kind of funky coupling system that they use for Tomica, but it does work. So yeah, I think overall, again, Percy, a good toy, but definitely it's not a clear slam dunk over the available versions that we've got here in Australia and around the world. So, keen to hear your thoughts as always down in the comments below. Otherwise, that's all we've got time for this extreme.